Hello, pre-algebra class. This is lesson 1-4, and I'm happy to say that today is going to be a fairly easy day. The hardest part you're going to have with today is knowing left to right from up and down, and there's a lot of vocabulary. So let's get started right away. The reason this is an easy day is because we're working with ordered pairs and a coordinate plane. So all I'm going to do is review the vocabulary with you to begin with. Remember that a coordinate plane is just a graph with an x and y axis. And please note some three parts of a coordinate plane, or in this case, this coordinate plane, which only has positive numbers. Remember, you've got the x-axis, which is always going to be your horizontal line, your y-axis, which is always going to be your vertical line, and then remember that 0-0 is the origin. Now, the part where everyone messes up is associating coordinate plane points with ordered pairs. Ordered pairs is just the coordinates that tell you where a point is on a coordinate plane. And where people mess up is they forget that the x-coordinate is always going to be the first number in the ordered pair, and the y-coordinate is always going to be the second number in the ordered pair. And the biggest mistake people make is they put the y first and the x second. The way you can remember which goes first, the x or the y, is that they are in alphabetical order. Your next challenge is going to be to graph ordered pairs. And I know that you already know how to do this, but for the sake of simplicity and help the folks that are still struggling with this, we're going to go ahead and go through a couple of demonstrations. The first one I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and graph the ordered pair 5, 3. Stop the video and do that, please. Okay, so hopefully what you did was you noticed that the 5 was the value on the x-axis, which is right here. And all I did, in case you were wondering, was count 5 from the origin. And the 3 is the y-coordinate, which is right here. And all I did was count up 3 from the origin in the y direction. When you find out where these two arrows intersect, that is your point. So this ordered pair is 5, 3, and that's its position on the coordinate plane. Let me give you another example here. What if I asked you, excuse me while I erase, to graph the coordinate 0, 4. Try this one now. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the x-coordinate is actually the origin. It's not going anywhere further on the x-axis. The y-coordinate in this case is 4, which is right here. All that means is I'm going up 4 from the origin in the y direction because it's a positive 4. So 0, 4 is actually on the y-axis. And I'm 100% confident you guys got that one completely right, but I think it's useful to do the review. The next thing you're asked to do is actually identify ordered pairs. So I'm going to put a few ordered pairs on this coordinate plane, and I'm going to ask you to identify them. One of them is going to be A, one of them is going to be B, one of them is going to be C, and one of them is going to be D. So here is A. B is right over here. C is right here, and D is going to be, right there. Okay, go ahead and write those ordered pairs. Okay, hopefully when you did this you found that A was in fact 2, 6, and the reason for that is that on the x-axis A falls along the 2, and on the y-axis, A falls along 6. When you look at B, hopefully you got the answer 3, 0, because you can see that it goes 3 spaces in the x direction and it doesn't go anywhere in the y direction. C, on the other hand, is going to be 0, 2, because it doesn't go anywhere in the x direction and it goes 2 spaces in the y direction. And then finally D is 6, 4, for the same reason that A is 2, 6. D goes 6 spaces in the x direction and it goes 4 spaces in the y direction. Please note these are all positive numbers, and pretty soon we're going to be using the other 3 parts of the coordinate plane, including negative numbers. Things are going to get so much more exciting. Now, let's move on a little bit and talk about what I've got here on the left-hand side. This is a table, and it is a set of ordered pairs that demonstrates a relation. Okay? Relation being the key word. So what you need to know, and I'm going to repeat myself here, a set of ordered pairs is a relation that can be shown in the form of a table. Here's the table, or a graph. When you're looking at this, there's some more vocabulary for you to remember. For every relation, all of the x-coordinates represent the domain. You are going to get that question on a quiz someday. You need to be able to identify the domain. All of the y-coordinates represent the range. So you get a question asking, for the following set of ordered pairs, what is the range? And all you have to do is list all the y-coordinates. So you're going to be getting some sample problems that look something like this. Let's say I give you the following table. 0, 2, 1, 4, 2, 5, and 3, 7. The first thing you're going to be asked to do is graph it, and that shouldn't be too hard. So here's the first point. Here's the second point. Here's the third point. And here's the fourth point. This is a relation, this is a set of ordered pairs. The next question you're going to be asked is to state the domain and the range. The domain is all the x values, so all you do is you list all the x values, 0, 1, 2, and 3. The range is just all of the y values. So you just list all the y values, which are 2, 4, 5, and 7. And you know what, guys, that's pretty much it. I want to show you the example problem so that you can see how we can use these relations to identify actual scientific or mathematical information. Okay, last one. Here's an example. A seahorse swims at a rate of about 5 feet per hour. So our key phrase here is 5 feet per hour. You're being asked to make a table of ordered pairs, in which case the x-coordinate represents the hours, and the y-coordinate represents the number of feet that the seahorse has been swimming. Step number 1, make a table that represents the number of feet for 1, 2, and 4 hours. Okay. Sorry, I got interrupted there. I hope this isn't too confusing. Step 1 is make the table of ordered pairs in which the x-coordinate represents the hours and y-coordinate represents the number of feet for 1, 2, and 4 hours. Your second direction is to graph the ordered pairs and describe the graph. So if the x values are 1, 2, and 4, and we know that Mr. Seahorse is traveling at 5 feet per hour, then hopefully you can see that traveling for 1 hour, he's gone 5 feet. Traveling for 2 hours, he's gone 10 feet. And traveling for 4 hours, he's gone 20. Go ahead and graph that. And I messed up because I'm using the wrong graph. All right, hold that thought. And magically, I can change my y-axis to actually fit the points that I need to use. That is the wonder of technology. Let me start over here. Okay. So on the x-axis, we have 1, 5. There it is. And then we have 2, 10. And then we have 420. And we're going to ignore this mistake up here. Okay, so take a look at that. What's the domain? The domain is 1, 2, and 4. What's the range? The range is 5, 10, and 20. And finally, they will ask you, describe the graph, okay? Graph shows that the seahorse is moving away from its reference point. It seems to form a line. Wow. Okay, guys, that's all I have for you today. So instead of doing a cutesy photograph, I will do you a graph version of a cutesy photograph. This one is actually starting to look rather ominous, but there you go. Thanks for your patience.